And this is an even higher state of consciousness. And this is encouragement. This is giving us goals. This is giving us promise of what is in store if we tread this path of bravery, love, and real love energy, service to others, and all that goes with that, which includes a rather unpopular word, sacrifice, but is a word, a thing which all great beings have demonstrated. All great beings have demonstrated. That's another little yardstick we can use when we're discriminating. Enlightenment, and then comes cosmic consciousness. And this is the highest state of consciousness that it's possible to enter. And I'd like to play you now an extract from this. I'm going to ask Jeremy in a moment to play this. And the extract I'm going to play to you, or ask him to play, is a very mystical one. So I would suggest that you, many of you are doing this already, you close your eyes, you contemplate on it, because on the face of it, it's paradoxical. But then all great teachings, all the great truths are paradoxical. I mean, for example, let's take one, perhaps the greatest of them all. I am divine. I am a frail human being who makes mistakes. Both those things could be true. Probably are true. Even Dr. King would say that he made mistakes. I think myself it was extremely unusual. And when he did, he always corrected them if they were important. But those two things, which are completely contradictory, which you could say absolutely is impossible, intellectually speaking, are both true. And this quote here that you're going to hear now, or listen to this extract, is a real example of this paradox. I would say that to enter the state of cosmic consciousness, which I think is the same state as nirvana, that Buddhist concept, except that some of those who've taught about nirvana haven't seen what happens afterwards. It's the amalgamation of the divine with the divine in that state, but actually the Nine Freedoms goes even beyond that. It's the essence of heaven, which isn't a place, but is a state of consciousness. Mystical Christians know that. It's a state of consciousness, not a place. And it's not just where you go when you die. Although I notice now everybody thinks they're going to heaven. No matter what they do, they're sure they're going to heaven. And seedless samadhi is probably the reference if you're you know about Patanjali, the aphorisms of Patanjali, the sutras, and Raja Yoga, and so on. It's that state, the highest of all states, where the final seed, even the seed of I am one, has gone to just I am. And whatever you are focused upon, you become and know completely. So let's listen then to this excerpt from Cosmic Consciousness.
And know that within you burns a flame, an all-knowing flame, an all-existent flame, a flame which is neither here nor there, a flame which is neither hot nor cold, a flame which is neither light nor darkness, and yet all of these, a flame which is not mind and yet is all-knowing, a flame which knoweth no limitation and yet vaguely recognizes individuality. The spark of God resides in man, untouched until man makes this cosmic step.
I love that word, vaguely. Vaguely recognises individuality, I think, is a beautiful phrase. In other words, it doesn't deserve total recognition, but just a bit. I'm going to ask you just to remain with your eyes closed, actually, because I'm going to ask Pete now to give us a reading from a description, just an excerpt from a description by Dr. King of this state, cosmic consciousness, when he entered this. So Pete will do this reading from Dr. King, from the Nine Freedoms.
It was as though in a moment he wore above his head a crown of indescribable magnificence. A glorious, brilliant flash of illumination came to him. The powers before were nothing in comparison with this. O God, he was going even further upwards. His loneliness subsided as a calm will stop the turbulence of the waves at sea, and peace began. But not a static peace, for in this was all movement. He began to stretch outwards, as though he had immense arms which were embracing all things. His consciousness reached outwards, holding, and gradually came the realization of oneness. No longer was he a light in the wilderness as he had been before, but now he was an essential part, an intimate part, an interrelated part of all things. His consciousness soared above the environment, above the city in which his cold body sat immobile, around the city, around all things and all people and all environment. Soaring upwards and outwards, he was now in the full and complete realization that he was life, which was manifesting in countless different ways in order to gain the experience necessary, the control demanded over matter itself. Here, in such an elevated state as this, came a deeper realization than ever before of the interrelationship of all things, of the life of all things. When he dwelt for a moment upon a rock, it sprang into vibrant life before his eye. It breathed, it had feeling, it had disappointment. The rock, in some vague way, experienced passion. It had a soul, a veritable spiritual essence which linked it with him, with all. As the state became even more advanced, he felt as though he was above the world, embracing it all, a part of it, living with it in complete intimacy, knowing it, appreciating it, loving it as he had never felt loved before. He became one with that upon which his superconsciousness dwelt.
Thank you, Pete. Beautiful, beautiful words. And something we're told which awaits us, but which can take several lives, depending where we're starting from, and how much effort we expend. And that's the personal choice.